Am I the asshole for letting my medical condition get out of hand to prove a point? I have a condition called impacted earwax, caused by swimmer's ear. For some reason, my whole life, it's come back, and me having ears really sucks. Essentially, I have way too much earwax. I need to clean out my ears daily just so they aren't in pain. They're still uncomfortable, unfortunately. Well, my older brother, Sebastian, has a fiancée, Tina, and they live in a room in our house that my mom rents to them. The other day, I guess Tina realized just how much I clean out my ears, and said, "You really shouldn't have to clean them out that much. I feel like you're probably over-exaggerating a little just for attention." I told her I wasn't, and she said, "Okay, well, I guess that your poor little ears are reason enough to waste money on Q-tips so often." I know it was petty, but I said, "Okay, I'm gonna go for 2 weeks without cleaning my ears. And every day, you have to take a picture of the inside of each, and see what happens." And so her pact with the devil was made. We didn't make it past 5 days before she said, "Okay, you made your point, you ass." My ears were leaking onto my shirt by that point, and the inside of my ears were on fire, because the eardrops I'm supposed to use were just sitting in a puddle of wax in my ears, not doing their job. I thought it was funny, if not a little painful, but my brother and Tina thought it was petty and gross, and now they just call me the waxy grubby creep. My mom said I did nothing wrong, aside from just being generally obnoxious, but Sebastian and Tina made it into a whole thing and took it way too seriously. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Tina needs to learn to mind her own beeswax. Not the asshole. I have the same thing. It is not comfortable at all, and stop using Q-tips. Q-tips push the earwax further into the ear. You need to buy a kit off of Amazon. I can't count how many times I went to the doctors and they're like, "Dude, your earwax is all the way down by your ear membrane. Don't do it to yourself." Also, you can professionally get your earwax removed as well. Though I don't recommend the professional for every time. It's easier to buy the kit and ignore them. They don't know the struggle. Have you ever seen an ent doctor about this? This is not normal. And also, you don't use Q-tips to clean ears, in case you do. They are about the worst thing to clean ears with. Am I the asshole for telling my ex-best friend that he caused his divorce? I, 25, F. recently got into an argument with my now ex-best friend, let's call him Ben 30, M. who ended up divorced after he fucked up his marriage, and I didn't support him as a friend should. Basically, he forced his wife, let's call her Gwen 27, F. who I am also friends with, into an open relationship. I warned Ben this wasn't gonna end the way he wanted. I had to comfort her about this because I'll be honest, I love her, but she tends to let people walk all over her. I helped her through it and convinced her to just take advantage of the situation because she was going to find someone better, and my idiot best friend would try and close it the moment she realized her worth to trust me. He just wasted to cheat. Well, 6 months later, Ben comes complaining that his wife won't close the relationship and has been seeing this guy Martin for 4 months, and how he stopped seeing other women and has tried to give her more attention so she'll dump Martin, but she won't, and asked me if I could talk some sense into her so he could close their relationship. I just deadpanned looked at him and said he was an idiot who wanted his cake and eat it too, and now he had to face the consequences of his actions, and I warned him this would happen. He called me a witch and left. Well, it's been 3 months and Gwen filed for divorce. They don't have kids and had a prenuptial, so it went easy. Ben was complaining to me again, and I told him he now has what he wanted, the freedom to sleep around. He got mad at me for rubbing his face in his divorce and told me not to contact him, that all women are alike. I myself don't see myself as an a-hole, but some of our friends are saying I shouldn't be rubbing it in his face and being smug about it. So am I the a-hole for telling him the truth about how this was going to end? I believe that Ben has experienced the literal definition of FCK around and find out, not the asshole. Not the asshole, you warned him and he didn't listen. Open relationships can work if you're doing it for the right reasons. Ben wanted to have sex with whoever he wanted, but then instantly changed his mind when she starts sleeping with another guy. Ben has no reason to be mad here. Is not the asshole for sure. I wish I could have seen that conversation. Ben: I want an open marriage. This will not end well. Narrator: it did not, in fact, end well. Ben: wah. My wife is having more fun than me. I told you this would not end well. Ben: you are a witch and rubbing my face in my divorce, which resulted from my own actions. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my husband's infertile friend name our son? My husband, M33's best friend, M37, Will, is infertile. He got divorced 2 times because of it and because he lied and hid his infertility. And his life hasn't been the same the day he was told he can't have kids. He has always had a soft spot for children, and when he found out that my husband and I are expecting, he was so thrilled and started buying us gifts and decor pieces that he made from his woodwork for the baby. My husband thinks that those are all nice gestures, but I couldn't help but feel uncomfortable, especially with how much he keeps mentoing the baby. A few days ago, my husband and I found the gender of the baby. The minute we told Will, he started calling the baby a random name he picked and was going to give to his baby if he wasn't infertile. He then started begging us to use this name, and my husband said it was a done deal. I refused, but my husband called me heartless and asked me to do this one small, nice gesture for his struggling friend to give him closure and honor him after all the things he has done for us. I flipped and said it's my baby, not his. Will heard this and left immediately. My husband yelled at me saying it's his baby too, and my behavior towards Will was abhorrent. He left after him and didn't come back till the morning. He kept saying the same thing and pressuring me to agree on the name, but I refused. Am I the asshole for choosing this hill to die on? Not the asshole. Is your husband also building his friend an art room in your house? Not the asshole. And since this is am I the asshole, I'm assuming your husband is in love with Will and they plan to run off together with your child. Please update folded hands light skin tone. Not the asshole. Mom and dad have rights to name the baby. Nobody else. Mom doesn't like a name? Doesn't get included in the list of potential names. Dad doesn't like a name? Doesn't get included in the list of potential names. Why is your husband picking a friend over his wife? That should be your concern here. Also, your husband is his friend needs therapy, not to pick baby names for closure. Your husband is actually a bad friend for entertaining this. Sure, you can name my baby. No need to talk to my spouse about it, either. This is clearly more important to you than to her. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for refusing to share my food with this one specific colleague? I, 25F, work at a media house. The colleague in question is 29F. Let's call her Amy. A few days back, one of our bosses called for McDonald's for the whole office. Since most of our colleagues are vegetarians, there were relatively lesser non-vegetarian options. Amy decided to take all the chicken nuggets, there were like 3 sets of 9 pieces each, and eat them at her desk. I think she also kept a few in her bag. Anyway, so while I'm passing by, I ask if I can take one. She refuses point blank. Legit screams out, no, and takes the pack away. Same with a bunch of other colleagues who asked. Then we realized she has taken all of them cause there were none left in the pantry. It was infuriating to see a grown woman behave this way. Earlier today, I decided to order in from this nearby Chinese place. There were fewer of us in office day, so I asked everyone except Amy if they wanted anything. We all contributed and ended up ordering a big lunch for ourselves. Food comes, we sit around a table to eat. Amy notices and comes around, making small talk. As soon as she reaches for a plate and tries to serve, I tell her she can't have the food as we all ordered it for ourselves. Amy looks at me in disbelief. I shrug. Amy slams the plate back on the table and storms off. She ate alone later and didn't say much to anyone the whole day. My colleagues are split about this. Half of them say she had it coming. The other claim I was a little too harsh to exclude and embarrass her. Am I the asshole? Edit. To answer a few of the common queries, feedback in the replies. Where I stay, McDonald's does have a whole vegetarian menu. I guess it's a cultural thing cause a lot of people are vegetarians. The rest of my colleagues were free to protest or offer her whatever they had ordered. I'm not obligated to share my food with anyone, especially when I get hostile or rude vibes from them. My problem is not the chicken nuggets. It's her attitude and outbursts. Speaking of HR, screaming at colleagues and slamming objects and storming off is also creating a hostile work environment. I would have spoken one-on-one about this if Amy was a friend or even a friendly colleague. We hardly know each other. I'm a freelancer and unlike the other in-house employees, Amy has never taken a step to be welcoming to freelancers or responded to anything social, at least as far as I can recollect. Which is her business, to be honest, I don't really care. I would have even let it go if it was just her refusal to share her portion of chicken nuggets that she claimed, but she literally took them all. Edit 2. Everyone bringing up food insecurity or hoarder behavior. Amy makes pretty good money, more than most at the company, and her parents are quite well off. They still pay her rent, as per her. I genuinely feel her attitude stems from the constant need of getting her own way. I might be reaching, but so are all of you who are hell-bent on painting Amy as a victim. Not the asshole. Regardless of the McDonald's incident, the fact is she didn't pay for it. Each of you paid for your own meal, and it's no different than bringing in lunch and placing it in the fridge only for a coworker to take it without permission. Would it have been nice to offer some? Sure, but no one was required to share their lunch with a glutton. Not the asshole. The main difference with this is that your boss ordered the food the first time, and Amy refused to share, which is just odd and not polite. Especially because I'm assuming there was more than enough options for everyone. While you on the other hand paid for food with your coworkers and simply didn't invite her, so she wasn't entitled to any of the food she didn't pay for. That was a treat for the office. I understand it is slightly mean to exclude people, but hopefully this was more so just, you were rude and this was the repercussion, so let's hope it doesn't happen again, type of situation.